Hey guys, this is Sam,
And Michael.
and welcome back to Life with Autism. Since Autism Awareness Month is getting close to an end, we decided to do another video of that after almost a year.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that's right. It's almost been a year since the last time we made a video like this. Last time we talked about it is about going out independently. And as we're walking around on the walkway over the Hudson,
That's right. We were on the walkway over the Hudson the last time we did a video together.
in this video, as I mentioned in our last video, we're talking about musical talents, and we've been mentioning about this before when we're talking about careers, and for the other autism video, which we made it last year. As you guys already know, I can play the piano and guitar. Recently, I've been making piano videos, and including the ones for classical pieces, including the ones in one of them for the romantic period. Like, my favorite is Chopin. And recently, I actually managed to play Chopin's famous Nocturne in E-flat major, which is Opus 9 number 2. Now, when I first played it, it was a little confusing and a bit hard at first, but then I realized it wasn't so bad once I practiced more. I mean, it was harder for most people, and this is why I wanted to say this about people with autism. They were fast learners, including the piano, violin, cello, you name it. It was harder for most people when they learned certain pieces, but people with autism, like us, they managed to do it easily. So my advice to people, if you're having a hard time with certain pieces, we know how you feel about this, but best thing for you to do is practice more. If you guys are unable to do it, then that's fine with us, because we will always support you guys no matter what.
Oh yeah. You all will have our support always.
And I think I mentioned this in the other autism video when it comes to me learning how to play the piano. I began playing piano since I was 6 years old, and I never took any lessons. For the most part, I played it by ear when I learned songs or pieces, any kind of music like this. And I've been playing the guitar for almost 7 years now, so I will plan on making more guitar videos whenever I have the time, including my favorite metal bands, including my favorite rock bands as well. There are certain guitar covers that can do this, but I am not good at doing solos. It's really not that easy. I'm only good at rhythm guitar and simple chords, or even palm muting, and yeah. It's basically for like rock music, including punk music. As for heavy metal, it depends on it. I'm just not good at solos, because a lot of them, including my favorite bands such as Metallica, Slayer, or even Pantera, there are certain songs that are pretty difficult for me to do solos there, but there are some I could do that when I can. I love playing the guitar as much as playing the piano. As for me doing piano videos, I mentioned this to you before, I would love to learn how to play more Chopin pieces, including his nocturnes, waltzes. Yes, there are a couple of them that may not be too hard at first, but like I said, I do not want it to judge without trying to play it if it's hard or not. However, there is certain pieces from Chopin, like the ballades or the scherzos or polonaises. Most of them are just way too hard. But once if I can try doing like a certain part of that, I can only do it into like shorter clips, because I gotta tell you, his pieces, most of them like that are that difficult, are way too long, and I don't have the patience to finish them. So how do you feel about playing Chopin pieces? Should I try learning them, or even like nocturnes, or even some of them that's very difficult for most people?
Well, as your boyfriend, I say give it a shot and see what you can manage.
I would think so. If my hands aren't big enough to do like 4 notes at the same time, because Chopin's hands are obviously long and big, and it made it easy for him, but it may not be easy for me because, especially that I'm not a tall woman. But yeah, besides Chopin, I've also wanted to play Bach or even Mozart, or perhaps I could do some Beethoven. Like I said, it depends if I can actually do it or not. I'm pretty sure I can because I feel like I do have the skills to play piano pieces and learn how to play them and try not to make too many mistakes because I'm not always perfect at piano because when I try to record videos, I tend to get nervous.
Yeah. I don't know any musician that would like get nervous at all to like, perform or anything like that, or like learn those kind of pieces. Even though Bach, Beethoven, and Mozart are all great composers too, just like Chopin.
Exactly, and that's why I wanted to learn more of those from these composers, including Mozart's piano sonatas, Bach's preludes and fugues. Oh yes, I would definitely do more of his pieces like that because even if they're not really popular, I could do that too.
Absolutely.
And as for people who have autism, does have musical talents as well, not just piano, but also singing. As long as they have the perfect pitch, if they learn certain notes, they have to do it. Because that's the key to sing, is to, know the words. That's also like the trick, kind of the tricky part, because you got to practice in knowing the words before recording some karaoke's and whatnot. You had to stay in the right key to do it.
Staying in the right key is definitely an important part of singing karaoke.
I know there are people who are autistic who try to sing not always in the key, but I'm doing my best to try to be nice and be as supportive as I can, even though I'm a music critic myself.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
All right, that's pretty much what I was saying for my musical talents. Now, I know Michael has plenty of musical talents to share, and especially most of them he did for a very young age. And we could do this again before we close the video.
That's true. Okay. So, yep, I've been a musician since I was very little. But the first instrument that I ever learned how to play when I was in 3rd grade was the violin. I took private lessons. I performed at different talent shows, and I also played with as I got older, I played with different orchestras, even the orchestra in elementary, middle, and high school, and I also did all county orchestra. I did NYSSMA. But when I was a junior, I added another instrument to my repertoire, which was the upright bass. And ever since I started learning that instrument, I have definitely had a passion for the bass. I took private lessons. And as I started college in 2011, I had a bigger passion, especially since I joined the community band and I got lots of attention for when I was on stage with it.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. So, and I loved lots of different compositions that we would perform, including especially Russian Christmas music by Alfred Reed. I had that 32 measure walking bass line. So, and then in 2013, I learned how to play piano. And then after so many years of lessons, including a year working with a teacher at college, and then having the same teacher for fun and then great times, I became a teacher myself. And
yes, like in the autism video, Michael is a piano teacher.
Yep. However, the job I was doing for the last 3 years, I was teaching piano to kids at Fishkill Music Academy. I ended up giving that up because of the long drive, and I didn't have enough students. But pretty soon, I'm hoping to get my own students at the West Hurley house in
Yep,
in
right
the
in his
studio.
right in his Michael's parents' house, including the studio that we did, which I will definitely get to it in a second.
Yep, we're gonna talk about something very special in a moment. And then I also play guitar, and I also can sing and play guitar to different songs, even including especially some Beatles songs. And I also learned how to play "Have I Told You Lately," "Fields of Gold."
Great songs.
All some great songs. But one of the biggest passions I've had as a young adult is playing bass in different pit orchestras, either if it's upright bass or the electric bass. Last summer I played Greece on electric bass, Oklahoma, and Can-Can. And both Oklahoma and Can-Can were played with the upright bass. This upcoming summer I'm going to be playing West Side Story, Newsies, and Crazy for You.
Yep, that'll be this summer at the Woodstock Playhouse.
Yep. So, I've had lots and lots of, musical events, throughout life. And I couldn't be more proud of that because, music is definitely an important thing.
Exactly. And music, any kind of music, including heavy metal, death metal, or any of these music, is like a work of art.
That's very true. It is a work of art, and it also helps you get your mind off of the rough stuff too.
Yeah, and this is why classical music is also important too. Not just heavy metal, but it's also a way to express your emotions like this. That's why it's very important to listen to these certain things, even though not a lot of people like heavy metal and it's like super sensitive to it. But I respect their opinions because, I've been a metalhead since I was very young. And I love same with classical music.
Yep, I'm the same way. I do love classical music. And I also sometimes would listen to relaxation music too if I needed to like do some deep breathing.
It's also really suits people who have mental health issues, including us, that anxiety really relates to autism. Especially that, like I mentioned before, I get anxious when I record myself playing the piano and without making any mistakes. And yes, whenever I make a mistake, I get anxious and I actually got frustrated at times, but it's just totally normal because, we're all human, right?
Mm-hmm. We definitely are all human.
Just because you have autism, it doesn't mean that any less intelligent from most people, because a lot of people with autism are actually very smart. And they're fast learners, like I said, because I'm doing this like a video game. Like, good at difficulty video games that I've beaten. And I can play some difficulties on, like, pieces like Chopin when I can actually do it, too. And before we close the video, yes, we started becoming sound engineers, which is actually recent for us, started for several months now, I think November or something. Yeah, so
November is right.
And I actually love doing this kind of work because I've been, familiar with all the editing, and I do love record people sing or even perform with the guitar on the microphones that you got to have the equipment and all that. It was fun.
It is a lot of fun. My father definitely has a really great recording studio.
Yep.
For us to use.
He owns a studio and he's made this and he's doing this for many years, even before we were born.
Yep, that's right.
And this is something that's good for a learning process to do stuff. And I've already learned this so quickly. And Michael's father is actually impressed that I learned this so quickly when I figured stuff out, how to, fix certain notes on, you do it for, different instruments. Like, you do it for, from using the keyboard, doing MIDI stuff, and even recorded it, whenever there's a mess up for, the singing and the bass, or even the bass part, and the guitars. This is definitely my kind of passion that I wanted to do, and that's why it's something that Michael and I could have a future and make a lot of good money when we, do stuff when we experience more of that. Because I love becoming a sound engineer, especially for music.
Same here.
Well, that is pretty much it. We'll definitely continue another autism video. There's actually one more thing I wanted to do last year, and which you'll see what I mean. So thank you guys for watching, and always remember, enjoy the music, and it's important to have life with music.
Yep, definitely listen to music if you're, having a rough day, or if you, or it's also good to listen to music if you're ever going for a walk too.
Yes, that's also a good thing about when we have autism, especially exercising and everything and go to the gym, because I've always enjoyed my favorite music while I work out. Anyway, we'll see you guys later.
Yep. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.